In honor of it being Valentine's Day and I'm getting ready for Valentine's Day dinner with my husband, I'm going to give you guys a quick little story time about how we have literally been dancing around each other our entire lives. We have had family members that have dated, family members that were neighbors, and like all kinds of things that we just didn't know until after we got together. And it just goes to show that God literally had us to be destined for one another. So a little backstory, my husband and I met in high school. And if you guys are familiar with the Chicago burbs, we went to high school. I could tell you guys now because it doesn't matter. But we went to Shepherd and Palos Heights. But neither of us lived in Palos Heights, which is crazy because at the time we didn't know this, but my mother lived 2 blocks from his grandmother, which is where we stayed during the week. And then my grandparents lived about 4 blocks from his mother, which is where we were during the weekend. So during the week and weekend, we were kind of like shifting very close to each other in the same neighborhoods, but we never knew this because we met all the way in Palos Heights in the suburbs, okay? And that's not even the craziest part of it all. So one day, this is like any other day, it's after school and I'm just kicking it with my husband, but at the time we were just freshly dating. So we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, like 15, 16 years old. Okay. And then his sister, his older sister is over there and she comes into the kitchen and she's like, I need my car fixed. And I'm like, oh, well, my dad's a mechanic. I can tell him to like take a look at your car, blah, 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 whatever. And she's like, okay, what's your dad's name? And I tell her my dad's name, okay? And she's like, and my dad has a very unique name, okay? So there's only one of him in Chicago. I'm telling you, his name is so unique. But anyway, she's like, wait a minute. I know a so-and-so. Okay, I'm not going to put my dad's name out there. But anyway, she says she knows, so-and-so. Now, let me give you guys a backstory, okay? So all my life, since I was like, can remember, my dad and my aunt, so my dad and his sister had like a little, not beef, not argument or anything crazy, but long story short, my aunt, when she was a teenager, she had a brand new car, and my dad's the oldest. She had a brand new car, and my dad was in an accident with somebody that he was dating at the time, okay? And my aunt always asked my dad, like, were you driving in the car? Because I know you're a good driver. There's no way you got into an accident. You must have had your girlfriend driving at the time. And my dad never like truly fessed up as to whether or not he was driving that. Okay, whatever, cool. But just know, I've always heard about this accident of my dad being in a car accident with somebody that he was dating, and it was in my aunt's car. Okay, all right, fast forward back into this situation. So I can't say sister-in-law because at the time she wasn't my sister-in-law, but she's my sister-in-law now. Okay, so my sister-in-law is like, okay, wait, I know a guy like this. I used to date a guy with this name that fixes cars. Call your dad. And just so you guys know, nothing creepy. My parents are much younger than my husband's parents. They're not even the same generation. So my parents and my husband's older sister is probably like within a 10-year age gap. Okay, cool. This is good and I'm almost out of it. But anyway, so I call my dad and I'm like, hey, Dad, do you know somebody named so-and-so? And I'm telling him my sister-in-law's name. But remember, at the time, she was my sister-in-law because I didn't really know these people. This was like brand new. And then my dad's like, wait a minute, so-and-so, does she live here on this street? And I'm like, this is the exact street that I'm on right now. Mind you, my sister-in-law has this injury on her finger. And I asked her about it and she was like, oh, it was from a car accident that I was in, not knowing that all these details were about to start connecting. Okay. So anyway, I on the phone with my dad and I'm like, hey, do you know this person? Blah, 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 whatever. She lives here. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. I used to date her. He's like, wait, how do you know her? And I'm like, I'm dating her little brother. So she's the oldest and my husband is the youngest. So they already have an age gap within themselves. But yeah, long story short, that was the day I found out that my dad dated my sister-in-law, which is crazy, okay? So, and that very famous car accident that I used to hear about from my dad and my aunt was literally with my sister-in-law. And at the same time, I used to always ask, oh, like, what happened to your finger, blah, 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 because it was like a serious injury. And it was in the car with my dad and my aunt's car. Crazy, right? It does not stop there. Okay, I'm going in with my foundation. I've been using this for a couple of years and I love it. Okay, so back to the story. Okay, so fast forward, we're dating, everything's going good. And by the way, that relationship between my dad and my sister-in-law was like very short-lived. There was nothing serious. My dad's happily married and everything, so just wanted to clear that up because I know how social media can be. So then so we're dating and everything's going good. Our slowly but surely our family members are starting to mix and mingle and get to know each other the more we like date and hang out and stuff, okay? So one day my husband is coming over my house and I'm, living with my dad and my stepmom. And my aunt is over there. I think maybe my dad was having like a birthday party or maybe it was my graduation party. It was something anyway. My husband's uncle gets out of the car and my auntie is like, oh my goodness, so and so. Oh my, I haven't seen you in so long. Turns out they were neighbors. I mean, I'm not talking like same neighborhood. They were literally house in house, door to door. And I actually remember his uncle and my aunt was like, don't you remember so and so? Like, this is a neighbor that blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, my aunt and his uncle were neighbors, okay? It does not stop there. Mind you, I stopped using concealer and I started using bronzer and say got it. This is like my first choice in bronzer and I feel like I made the best choice ever. So, okay, so let's fast forward to more recently how my husband just recently reconnected with one of his childhood best friends, right? Okay, so my husband's, like I said, my dad's a mechanic and my husband's calling my dad and he's telling him, hey, I'm having like some issues with my work truck. I need you to look at it. And he's like, oh, okay. You can bring it to the shop. Me and so are here. And so is my dad's best friend. Like this is the person who was in my dad's wedding. Like I've known this guy for as long as I can remember. Okay. So my husband has a business and one of the trucks is for his business. And he's talking about how he just recently reconnected. He's telling my dad, like, he reconnected with his best friend who's gonna like start working with him and everything. And I don't know how they found out, but this person that is, oh, sorry, I told you guys I can't multitask. This person that is my husband's childhood best friend is the son of my dad's best friend. Okay. So my dad and his best friend, my dad's son-in-law, which is my husband, and my dad's best friend's son are friends. Okay. And I just found all this out. Long story short, God literally had us dancing around each other. Like, you cannot tell me that my husband was not meant for me. And I'm just like, there's no way how we were literally living around each other. We had people in our family dating, neighbors, friends, all this stuff. I'm sure at this point we probably have passed each other at some point in our lives, but we didn't know. We were just too young. We can't remember whatever, but we were definitely meant to be. So I basically said that to say nothing happens by chance or by accident. I truly do believe that God does everything according to his plan. And it also kind of goes to show God's sense of humor. Like, we literally been hanging in the same circle our entire lives. Why do we meet all the way in Palos Heights in the suburbs when we probably have met plenty of times before in Chicago? I'm almost done with this liquid blush. This was the very first liquid blush I ever got, and it's from e.l.f. And I don't have any complaints, no problems about it. But if you guys have a better brand, I would like to try another brand. But honestly, I'm content with this. Sometimes I feel like if something's not broke, don't try to fix it. But anyway, fast forward, we've been together now 18 years since 2008. And we've been married for, I think this is going to be our 12th year this year. This is Hourglass, I'm going in for my to set this. So yeah, that's my story. And if you guys have any stories that could top that, let me know. But I've always heard of like, I believe in God and I believe that everything is destined. But I've heard of like 6 degrees of separation and how you're like connected to every person in some sort of way by like 6 different people in between. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any stories like this. But anyway, I want to finish up my makeup because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, but we're going out tonight and I'm super excited. We're going to this oyster house in the Soft Loop. We used to live in the Soft Loop and I would always pass it, and I'm like, I've always wanted to go there. So he's like, well, let's do something different, and their menu looks really good, so I'm excited about that. I use a dark Fit Me to put the powder over the places I bronze, so not too much, just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my MAC blush. I don't think I've ever tried another brand of brush outside of MAC. So if you guys have a brand that you favor, that you prefer, let me know. Nothing's wrong with it. I'm just really trying to expand my makeup because I kind of stick to the same things, the same products all the time. That's why I'm like super, super excited for Ulta Beauty World. Okay, so one thing I have been doing, because the worst part about doing makeup to me is when you get to this phase when the powder is all over your face and now you just have to find a way to blend it. So I did get talked into buying this Hourglass brush at Nordstrom, and I'm actually glad I did because I pretty much use this side for blush, but then I use this side with no product to actually press that powder together. So I just start at the top, like you can kind of see the discoloration in my forehead, and then I'm kind of like sweeping and at the same time pressing and blending, trying to get all those powders, because remember I have 2 different powders on my forehead together, and I just do the same thing like everywhere on my face. Like that's starting to look better. I do it on my nose, and I'm gonna start on this side so you guys can see. So I'm pressing in, like I'm really trying to blend the white with the red, with the brown, so that it doesn't look like you can start to see it a little bit that it's like starting to blend out. But this is what's been working for me. I know some girls, when they finish doing all their powders, they use a press powder. And I tried it and that did not work for me. So I don't know if I had the wrong color. It kind of gave a look, a finish that I really just wasn't a fan of. So until I find like the best method, this has been working for me. Like it's really starting to come together, all the colors together. So that's what I've been doing. Shout out to Hourglass. And then I'll just take the end. Sometimes I don't really put more product on, but I'll just like re-powder so that it all looks good together. I have been getting into tube and mascara lately, so I'm gonna do this. This is the Tarte tube and mascara, the primer, which which I think actually works really good. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but it really extends the lashes. Okay, and last but not least, my favorite part. And you guys are probably wondering like, what is going on with my hair? I actually washed it yesterday, and because I knew I was going to the gym today, I didn't straighten it until like an hour ago. So as soon as I straightened it, I put the rods in because I really want like a curl look tonight, but this is not enough time. I'm probably not going to have any curls. I probably take these rods out and they're probably just going to like fall down. But you know what I need? I need that Dyson Airwrap. That's what I need. I don't own the curling iron. I literally just have my Babyliss Nano Pro flat iron, which is what I use to straighten my hair, and then my Dyson blow dryer, which is really good. But I need something because I love curls, but I have nothing to curl my hair. So I hope they're giving those away at the Ulta Beauty World. Okay, I'm gonna spray myself down. This is the final look. I'm gonna put my clothes on and then come back and show you guys the full complete look together. But thank you so much for hanging with me. And remember, God does everything intentional. He is a funny guy. He is a loving guy. But most importantly, he is an intentional guy. And his will be done. His plans are aligned already. It is nothing we can do about it. Love you guys. Here's the look. Okay, I'm back and I let my hair marinate for a little bit. So we're going to take this down and see what it does. All right. So I started with this one. This one might be the most curly because it was the first. Okay, we got a little wave. It's something. I'm telling you, by the time I get home after dinner, all this is going to be straight. But it looks good right now, so I can't complain. Okay. I can't complain. But this is my Valentine's Day look. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. God is good. I love y'all. See you in the next video.